thank you, all of you in person and those out in Cyberland, for attending the two-day Quality Summit. I am really, really excited, and I know our team is. We have some great team members for the Case for Quality. Savannah Walker and Desiree Steele, also here. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We're happy to help you. The thing I'm really, really excited about is not only introducing the four members coming up on the panel, but the fact that the attendance has broken all records for the Case for Quality events over the years. We have roughly 135 to 140 attendees. Shy of 100 in here, 88, something like that, and the rest are all on virtual. So I'm really, really hopeful that that's an indication that there's a gaining interest in kicking quality up into a higher level. And that's really the purpose of these 2 days. And hopefully everybody gets inspired with some takeaways to go back to their organizations and figure out ways to elevate quality to a higher level. All right, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Keisha, Andy, Joe, and Cisco, where are you? There you go. So I'm going to turn the baton over to Andy Fish, President, CEO of MDIC, and take her away.
Thanks, Paul. Good morning, everyone. It's fantastic to see you here. I want to first say thanks, both, of course, to our staff, Paul, Desiree, Savannah, Aurelia, for putting on a fantastic event. It's really great to be in person. It's still an odd thing these days. I think most of us are working at least hybrid, if not largely virtual. So it's really wonderful to see some energy here in the room. And it's great to see so many people joining us online as well. Of course, I want to thank our colleagues from FDA and from NIST and all our speakers without whom we would not have a program. I really couldn't be more excited to welcome you here today. You know, of course, about MDIC, but for those who are a little bit less familiar with the organization, I just underscore that MDIC is itself, in a sense, a collaborative community, right? We have members spanning the entire medical device ecosystem, obviously including many medical device manufacturers, but all stakeholders are invited to come participate as members at MDIC, and of course the various agencies across the federal government, including in particular FDA, are all members of MDIC. So when folks come together around MDIC, whether it's in a work group or all the way up to our board meeting, it is all as collaborators. And the spirit of collaborative work is what drives the organization forward. We've just about hit our 10th year anniversary. And I think the library that we've built up over the years speaks for itself. We are continuing to focus not only on driving great products, tools and resources, but increasingly focused on adoption and implementation, and holding events like this to try to ensure that a wider and wider array of stakeholders have access to our materials and can use them to drive change within their organizations, whether it's a manufacturer or any other stakeholder in the medical device ecosystem. At MDIC, we really think of our work as spanning 4 key areas: quality, design, and manufacturing. So I hope it says a lot to all of you that that's an entire pillar of our work as we think about what we do. Evidence generation, another key area of MDIC's work across many interesting, diverse areas of evidence generation, real-world evidence in many different contexts, both regulatory and payer. Patient engagement is an area of real dedication and commitment for MDIC, one that we're looking to continue to expand, not only bringing the patient voice in a disciplined way into the evidence for both approvals and clearances and reimbursement, but also directly engaging with patients and making sure the individual patient voice actually has a place to be heard in the medical device ecosystem. And digital health, of course, spanning a wide array of activities as we work to figure out what across that vast array of developments in both technology and data use makes sense for MDIC to work on. But fundamentally, MDIC is focused on driving better quality devices, safer devices, more effective devices, and getting them to patients more quickly, right? Fundamentally to advance patient health through better devices and access to those devices. So I really want to, again, just welcome everyone for being here. I'll turn it over to my fellow panelists, Keisha with FDA and Cisco with FDA as well, and Joe on the MDIC team. Ask them to introduce themselves a little further and give some welcoming remarks.
Sure, I guess I'll start first. Good morning, everyone. I'm Keisha Thomas. I'm the Associate Director for Compliance and Quality in CDRH's Office of Product Evaluation and Quality. And so I'm probably new to some of you, and some of you have probably just heard about me in the ether and you don't see me because you see Cisco and most of the team most of the time. So I'm excited to be here to kind of broadly introduce myself to the MDIC group. I am active behind the scenes most of the time, but mostly I just wanted to say that I'm happy to be here. I've been doing like virtual summits here and there. I haven't really kind of been showing up in person. So this is my first in-person quality summit. But I'm just here really to kind of reiterate FDA's commitment to the case for quality and all the work that we do with MDIC. We're committed to the advancement of this program and all the initiatives that are associated with it. I'm excited to hear about all the outputs and results that we've been hearing with the initiatives, as well as ways for us to collaborate and continue to kind of move forward on things that actually help us, generate more ideas and initiatives that, advance quality as a broad scope. And so inside of the agency, we're also strategizing very much on, how we expand our reach inside the organization. I think, what MDIC has been doing and the collaborative community has been doing is really good externally. But internally, we have some work to do to get our stakeholders to buy in. And so this year, and Cisco and I have been having tons of conversations about how we now reach down inside of our organization internally to kind of further advance and align the activities that the agency is doing with our programs and our policies so that we can align with the quality work that's being done externally. So we're fully committed, and now it's time to kind of reach down inside the organization now that we have been reaching out, more externally. And so that really is kind of our focus going on to continue the work and leverage what's been done externally to make sure that we can make lasting, impacting changes to the quality landscape and program inside of CDRH. And so I'm happy to be here. I will be here for the next 2 days, even though I'm going to disappear for about an hour right after this. But I'll be right back. And, so I'm happy to meet everyone, looking forward to kind of shaking hands and getting familiarized. And thank you for having me, Paul. Paul went where? Over there.
Thank
So
you.
I'll hand it off to Cisco.
So, Cisco Vicente, for those of you who don't know me, work with CDRH on a lot of our quality initiatives as we move forward. And I think, just reiterating what everyone has said here. First of all, it's great to see everyone again in person. But, this particular summit coming off of COVID, a lot of the work that's been done, it shows that I think the work that you guys have done, because it really isn't an FDA activity or an effort, has started to deliver or at least show an impact and value. And there's more interest and engagement, right? So this is the opportunity to try to spread more of that, the results, drive that impact a bit further. So, I always look forward to these events, learn more, see more. You'll hear a little bit about what kind of kicked off even in this very room and a bit from Joe. As we progress and we move forward, I know we've done a lot of work. You guys already have a mechanism and a body that kind of operates, as we kind of hoped in the very beginning, very independently, right? Where's the next need? What's the next driver? How do we tackle that moving forward, where the agency isn't the one driving it, but, the stakeholders are? So let's see if we can continue that. I know from my standpoint, what we would like to see is a lot of the impact and benefits we've seen from VIP for participants, especially with regards to the ability to move changes through the system. How do we bring that into other submission types, right? Because I know I always go back to the notion that it came off as an incentive, but the reality of the matter is it just makes a better product. So how do we get to that same point with some of the other submission pieces? How do we leverage the information we're getting from VIP to move that needle forward? For those of you who are sticking around and being here tomorrow, right, our advanced manufacturing focus, the next piece moving forward. How do we help support adoption of technology, digital capability, that digital transformation within industry to keep broadening the case for quality? And then I think from what Keisha mentioned, there's enough momentum, there's enough stuff that's been developed that now we've got to turn the focus internally. We as an agency need to be able to keep up with what's now happening externally. And for better or for worse, I think for me it's a positive. You guys are moving very quickly on things. So we've got to figure out our ways and get our people up to speed to be able to sustain and maintain So from moving forward standpoint, that's a big focus for us. I know the MDIC community in general, in the Case for Quality Collaborative community, has also set their sights on how do we bring this activity, how do we bring these benefits to the small manufacturers, smaller businesses, bring them more into the fold. So I think that moving forward, there's a lot of opportunity. It's, the potential, I think, here is very much limited only by your willingness to think differently, because I think we've demonstrated on our end that we're willing to try to get there on our side. So I think as we move forward, I look forward to seeing what comes out of this, because I've been impressed with everything that the groups have done internally, and I think we've got just the tip of the iceberg that we started on. And I think with that, keep moving forward. I look forward to what the next 2 days have entailed, and I'll turn it over to Joe so he can close us out.
Thanks, Cisco. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Sapienti, and I'm from MDIC. I lead the Clinical Science and Technology Group. I originally joined MDIC to lead Case for Quality. So for some of you who know me from Case for Quality, I was the industry chair for many, many years. So I was on, in the seats with working with you hand in hand. Paul, Desiree, Savannah, Aurelia, congratulations and thank you for setting this up and getting us here today. But more importantly, I want to congratulate all of you for getting us here. When you think about where we started and the things that we talked about the Case for Quality, we had, we were a small group in a small room talking about the vision of Case for Quality, and there were a lot of very like-minded people at that time that could visualize what the Case for Quality could do. And you guys have all made that happen. And so that engagement, that momentum that you've created is the reason why we're here today. So we're going to talk about a lot of things, some things that were developed back in the early 2017 and 18, even before that. We were talking about how the first time we were in this room, and we talked about Make CAPA Cool. We talked about small and mid-sized organizations and how we can create more outreach. We talked about risk management. We talked about quality culture and how other organizations, take on culture and the important things about culture. And the work that we talked about and we developed and the roundtables and the whiteboards that we did that day are all things that led to us being here today to talk about where are we in culture, where are we on the things about advanced manufacturing, which is a new horizon. But the thing that we always walked out from those meetings, and I challenge you guys to walk out of this meeting over the next 2 days, is to be inspired, to be engaged, and to be curious about the things that are possible. Because it's through that vision to see ourselves where we're going to be, not if we'll be there, but when we get there and what that's going to look like. And so I just want to thank everybody for being here today and for being part of what was introduced in this room as not a program, but a movement. Case for Quality was not just a simple program. It was really a movement by the industry and its partners, and again, certainly our key partners here from the agency, to really make a difference. And so, again, I'm really glad to be here in person. It's the first time in a long, long time, and I think it's fitting that the Case for Quality is in person and we're in this room to really continue the work that we've created and the work that we've done and started, but we're not anywhere near finished. I look at Paul. Paul and I meet every week, and I think at the end of every conversation, we have another list of things that are possible. So the list continues to grow, but we need your support, we need your engagement, and we need the momentum that engagement creates to be able to be successful so that we can give the agency things for them to then incorporate. And Cisco's right. There's going to be a point where we're going to need to work more closely with them on how they can also transform. Because you guys are all on a journey of transformation, and we're all in this together, and I really appreciate the work that you guys have done. So thank you very much.